Okra is grown and eaten in many countries. But by watering the okra at just any time of the day and letting the weeds grow, okra will not give many good fruits. To get good fruits, you should know how to take care of your okra crop. Let's see how producers in Benin water, care for, and fertilize their okra crops. Okra likes heat and tolerates drought. However, too much drought can slow down growth and cause young fruits to fall. Water 3 times a day for the first 10 days if you are farming on sandy soils. Do this when the sun is hot, or if it is very dry, or if the leaves of the seedlings are wilting.
We water 3 times to allow the seeds to take root. If you do not water 3 times, the sun burns the seedlings and their roots, and they do not take root normally.
By using drippers or sprinklers to water, you use less water. From the 10th day until the 20th day after sowing, water only twice a day. Once in the morning and again in the afternoon. When you reach the 3rd week after sowing, water once a day, but just in the morning.
From 3 weeks, we water once a day and at 10 a.m. at the latest. But once a day does not mean that you can't wait until the evening to do it. When you water in the evening, the water stagnates under the plants, rots the roots, and the plant dies.
On the other hand, in low-lying wetlands, farmers do not water their okra crop at all, not at planting time and not afterwards. Let's listen to Etienne, one of these farmers.
Here the wetland is flooded in the rainy season. So after the water recedes, the soil still keeps moisture and we grow crops.
But the soil only retains its moisture for a long time if it is well mulched. So, if you grow okra in areas that flood, where the soil is clayey, and if it is not mulched, water it from time to time to prevent the soil from drying out completely. Three weeks after sowing, weed the field, or do it a little earlier if the weeds are overgrowing the okra.
When weeds are left to grow, they also absorb nutrients from the soil and the plants become fragile. We do weeding because when the weeds are removed, the beds and seedlings are more aerated and only the seedlings are able to use the supplied nutrients.
Generally, weeding is done whenever weeds invade the beds. And this affects the rooting of okra plants because the weeds are removed with a little soil. During weeding, put some soil at the base of the plant, as Marie Angeli is doing here. During weeding, we put sand at the base of the plants to protect the roots. Because first, if the roots are uncovered, the plants do not feed well and do not grow. Secondly, it helps withstand high winds and rain. In addition, pests cannot attack the roots when they are visible. Apart from water and weeding, okra needs nutrients to grow well. By putting compost around the base of the seedlings, your okra will grow much better. Good compost is evenly mixed, black and without any unpleasant odor. But if you use manure, let it decompose enough. Otherwise, it can weaken the plants against pest attacks and sometimes even burn their roots. Compost or manure should be applied periodically around the base of each okra plant. The first time 10 days after planting and the second time 30 days after planting.
After we sow the seeds, on the 10th day we apply some manure in small quantities to help the seed come up faster. And on the 30th day, we apply a second time, a little more than the first time, so that the plants grow well and give lots of fruits.
Many producers also use litter to fertilize their crops. Litter is plant waste spread on the floor in barns or pens where the animals leave their droppings. With time, the litter decomposes and forms a very good fertilizer. But some litters contain mostly wood chips and shavings and therefore very little nutrients. So pay attention to the litter you are using. The right wood litter is dark or black while the bad one is red and dusty. If you use the right one, you will get a lot of good fruits.
We search for litters that have lots of nutrients. If you use those that do not have nutrients, the plants do not grow. They become thin and their leaves turn yellow.
Okra growers collect good litter, often from poultry farmers. The right litter must contain lots of droppings and not be dusty. Now, all you have to do is to wait for the fruit to mature to harvest your okra. If you used improved seeds, you will begin to harvest the first fruits 7 weeks after sowing. But with local seeds, you will harvest your first fruits from the 10th week after sowing. What have we learned in this video? Water your okra regularly to avoid slowing down its growth. Depending on the age of the seedlings, the heat and soil type, water once or thrice a day, but do not water in the evenings because the water can stagnate under the plants, rot the roots and kill the plants. Get rid of weeds because they absorb the nutrients you give to the seedlings. Weeds keep air from reaching the roots so the okra does not grow well. Put some soil at the base of the plants to protect them from wind and sun and to strengthen their roots. Nourish okra crops by periodically applying a little ripe compost, well-rotted manure or litter around the base of each okra plant. Apply these 10 days after sowing and a second time 30 days after sowing. 7 to 10 weeks after sowing, you can harvest your fruits.